Let's go.
I wanted to come and bring everybody a happy rent freeze cake. I know it's not yet 9 o'clock. It might be a little early for cake.
We don't care. Happy rent freeze.
Happy rent freeze.
Really, you don't know what that means.
Yes, that's right. So
especially when you're on a fixed ticket. So you know I was getting out of bed to see you this morning.
Anyone who would like a slice? I am so glad to celebrate this morning with all of you, because at the heart of this are tenants. And you all have helped to build this city. You've given stability to this city. It's time the city brings some stability to you. And we're so excited that
What was written on the cake? Happy rent freeze.
the Rent Guidelines Board decided to freeze the rent not just for 1 year, but for the first time in New York City history for 2 years.
And I couldn't believe that this is like a dream come true. And for him to come to the building where the people are, the real people who need the help in New York City, you don't know how meaningful this is.
Warmy. Rent freeze. Oh my God. Mutant rats have reportedly been found in sewers under major cities in the US. Researchers say they're more resilient to rat poison due to new genetic mutation. Mamdani's term was going a little too well, so they had to introduce low-level RPG enemies to New York City. Oh, Christ. Anyways, so yeah, he introduces rent freeze, and people are so mad about it, dude. And like, listen, I'm going to tell you guys something, all right? When it comes to rent freeze is like, I would treat rent freeze sort of the same way that I've treated or talked about eliminating student debt. It's a band-aid solution for a bigger problem. It's still a solution that would help people in the short term, but it's a band-aid solution for the bigger problem, which is that landlords, right? So it's the same thing with like erasing student loan debt doesn't fix the fact that student loans will continue to exist because universities and colleges are so unbelievably expensive because we don't subsidize it enough. And because like schools can charge fucking $120,000 a year on the high end and like maybe $10K on the low end. And we should have more high quality city and state universities so that people don't have to pay tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket to go to college, right? So student loan removal would be a huge help for people that are struggling right now, but it's not going to be the solution to the problem that is tuition is just too damn expensive. So it's the same thing with the rent freeze, right? Rent freeze isn't like the end all be all solution. Like rent freeze doesn't solve the problem that is housing is a commodity and is treated as a commodity. Housing needs to be decommodified to truly fix the housing crisis. But it is a temporary solution that will help people now. Does that make sense with everybody? I'm not sure. I feel like I always want to add that disclaimer when I talk about rent freezes because it's not a perfect solution, but it is a solution that we can implement now, today, that would actually help people today. It's just like a pause. Exactly. Correct. So I will say though, it's very funny seeing seeing people do fucking like landlord apology. Like, what is this? New York City landlord says rent freeze will ultimately hurt tenants.
In a major victory for Mayor Mamdani, the Rent Guidelines Board approves a rent freeze for nearly 1 million rent-stabilized units. But landlords call the process a farce, telling Christina Fan renters will ultimately pay the price.
This is just cosplaying fairness. This isn't real fairness.
Jan Lee, whose family has owned this Chinatown building for nearly a century, is crying foul, accusing the Rent Guidelines Board of freezing rent despite...
Did someone get addicted to charging high prices with no labor? Oh, that's just... you guys seen the did someone get addicted to crack meme? Huh?
Well, you know, we'll just go back to work for a little while.
Just for a little while until we have enough money to buy some more crack.
And then we'll go on welfare and I'll go be a star.
And then I can be a veterinarian of some kind.
Maybe we should think about rehab.
We should hit rehab as soon as possible.
Pretty soon. In a couple days.
Yeah.
Not now.
Jesus Christ, that was close. Oh, look who it is. What the hell are you guys doing here?
We're getting our jobs back.
Yeah.
Can't have them. You can't have
We might have a little bit of a drug problem.
Oh, see, I might not really care.
I don't give a
your
shit.
Your positions have been filled.
Yeah.
Oh, but we're going to take yours.
No, you're not going to take our
My
job.
dad called and said that we could have your job. We need money to pay our hookers, okay? So you can't have it.
But we need money to buy crack.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you get addicted to crack? Crack?
Oh, did the landlord get addicted to stealing money from people? Oh, did someone get addicted to stealing money from the working class? Oh, grow up, bro.
Mounds of data, he says, shows rising costs for landlords.
They're not even hiding the bias anymore. The mayor had campaigned on a rent freeze. He appoints 75% of the board, and now he's got his hand on the scale.
Just hours.
They're not even hiding the bias. He's doing what he said he was gonna do. What the hell? What? I'm sorry. Did you want him to say he wasn't gonna freeze the rent? What? I'm like beyond confused. I'm beyond confused.
Before Thursday's meeting, drama unfolded when Christina Smith, a member of the board who represented landlords, resigned from her post, accusing the process of being broken and unjust. But it did little to sway the results. As the Rent Guidelines Board voted.
Imagine being like, this is so messed up to landlords. I quit. Okay. No, you're supposed to change your mind because I quit. Okay. Well, we're not going to change that, so you can just, I don't know what you want me to do. All right. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. What does rising costs for landlord even mean? They don't repair or update anything. I will tell you guys, listen, I can't speak on every state because I haven't rented in every state. But landlords in New York don't fix things. I know landlords in general don't, but I will say when I've lived in like complexes with like management, I've had better experience than like the petty tyrant landlords. In the petty tyrant landlords where it's just like one dude that owns a building, they don't fix shit. They literally don't do it. They won't. They refuse. Whereas like right now I live in like a complex that's like owned by like a company, by another company, whatever. And I can put in the stupidest request and they'll show up and fix it. Like I can be like, my dryer light isn't working. Can you guys come fix it? And they'll come fix it. And it's like, yeah, I can buy the light myself and fix it. But I pay rent, bitch. Come and fix it, god damn it. This outlet sometimes doesn't work. Can you guys come fix it? Like, I can do it myself, but why would I waste my time when I pay rent so you guys can fix it? And then they come over and they fix it. I'm like, thanks, guys. Thanks. Thank you. Hey, my toilet won't stop, like, making the flushing noise. Yeah, I can, like, figure out how to do that myself. But that's what I'm paying for. I'm paying so that I don't have to do that. So I can work on other things that I want to work on. And then they actually come and they're like, yeah, here you go. We replaced it. It's like, oh, thanks, guys. Thanks. You sending them a video asking like that? No, I just put in, like, the shittiest text request where it's like, dryer light broken. Send. And then in like 3 hours, someone comes by and they're like, you need a new dryer light? I'm like, yeah. They're like, 1 second. Yeah, we have some spare. Give me like 5 minutes. And then I wait and then they fix it and they're like, anything else? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, you're good to go. We'll close the ticket. Also, you are supposed to make small requests for maintenance. Get your air filters changed, dryer exhaust cleaned, tip your maintenance workers if you can. Can you not complain about the fire alarms? Well, no, they just do the fire alarm testing. No, I can't do that. Sorry. But anyways, it's kind of, it's dope. It's fucking dope. I'm not going to lie. It's crazy to have like management that actually does things for once. I'm like, whoa, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh my God. Imagine that. I pay for the service and then I get the service. Whoa. Isn't that insane? In New York, you could have like a missing window in winter. And the landlord's like, yeah. Okay, so I'm all booked out for the next 3 years. Have you tried duct tape? You could go to the store and buy some duct tape. How's that? Is that good for you? Because if you're gonna wait for me to do it, how about I just paint over the empty hole? Would that be okay? It won't fix that problem. Interesting. Okay, what if I bring you some duct tape and a garbage bag? Would that fix it? I'll just do that, all right? Because I'm not paying for a new window. All right. Oh, also, by the way, rent is due tomorrow. I need you to pay it early tomorrow. And I did raise it $500. Okay, cool. All right, see you tomorrow.
The one in an historic first to approve a 0% increase on both 1- and 2-year leases. Renters say the measure was necessary as they struggle to combat inflation and cuts to social services.
It's going to do so much to really affect my life in a good way.
I feel very good because in New York, that's one of the biggest problems that we have. You know, rent is high and we really needed it stabilized.
Mayor Mamdani, who campaigned on freezing the rent, insisted the board's decision would be fair and impartial. He responded to the outcome saying in part, this is the relief that working people across our city deserve. But Lee says it's renters who the freeze will ultimately hurt.
If we keep eroding one side of the equation, something's got to give, and the people in those buildings are going to suffer. So there has to be some kind of fairness and recognition of the math.
The freeze will impact
You know, I'm a numbers guy.
more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants throughout the city and will affect leases that begin after October 1st of this year.
Who the fuck is that guy? Some random fucking landlord piece of shit.
From the Upper West Side, Christina Fan, CBS News, New York.
What I guess I don't understand about the landlords that are mad about this decision. Mamdani said he was going to work for the New York people. He never said he was going to work for the New York leeches. Like, why are you surprised, bro? Like, use your brain here, man, for just like 1 second. I don't know, man. Go get like a profession that isn't providing housing. As an idea? Isn't it crazy that like being a streamer or a YouTuber is more of a real job than being a landlord? I think being a landlord has to be like the fakest job. Is that kind of fun? Isn't that kind of fucking funny, dude? All right. And then, but I want to show you guys, see these fucking memes. This meme is fucking sending me. Oh, wait.
Board just froze the rent. That means if you're one of the more than 2 million New Yorkers who lives in a rent-stabilized apartment, your rent's going to be frozen next year.
Good luck, everyone in New York City. And it's this stupid fucking comic this idiot made. And it says, with rent control. Oh, we don't have enough money to keep building. I guess we'll suspend the construction. Okay, first of all, how does this guy think construction for buildings works? I like the crane that just says suspended. It's not even like, they didn't even put like a fence around that says suspended. It's just like, okay. Okay. And then this one, taxes are eating up my unprofitable rental. I have to quit being a landlord. Okay, then quit. Okay, then quit. No, the landlords are quitting. That's so sad. Someone please think of the landlord. And then I like this tenant. There's no availability. I guess I'm moving out. And then this one's really good. Without rent control, we can keep building if there's demand. If taxes raise, we raise rent. It's literally that simple. If you rent an office, you get 25% off. And then I like this orange circle and this purple circle, which are two people that have never existed before. I have a lot of vacant rentals, so I lowered the price. The government just cut taxes, so I lowered while keeping it profitable. This person does not exist. No landlord has ever said this, ever. I'm sorry, has somebody else ever experienced this? A landlord saying, hey, I paid a little bit less of my taxes this year, and there was less taxes on properties this year, so I'm going to be lowering the rent for you. That's literally that's never happened. This person doesn't exist. Also, when has the government ever lowered property taxes? I mean, it's happened. I hate this Twitter meta where they post comics or images with black text on a white background and suddenly it makes them right. It's like, dude, not even Scrooge after the ghosties come to him. But if the landlords quit, who will provide the housing? One chud was overheard saying, oh my God. Person who's never rented. Landlords would lower rent. Incredible. The only instance where rent is lowered is when, so are you guys aware of there was like a massive lawsuit against the algorithm that a lot of rental companies use. I think it's through like apartments.com or something like that. And that algorithm helps them decide, and maybe it's Zillow, helps them decide what price to charge to best profit maximize. So like there is like a profit maximization chart for rental properties, for everything, to be honest, where some number of vacancies is worth it because you make more money charging more for some properties than having every single unit be filled, right? Landlords build buildings. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, Chatter. Graystar, yeah, it's like an app called Cartel or some shit. It's like, I'm not going to bother pulling it up, but if someone else has the link for it, that would be cool. But there's like a massive lawsuit about this. Because it's not actually driven by true like supply and demand or by whatever the fuck this is, which is prices went down for the landlord, so they stopped charging as much. Sometimes prices will go down across the board with rent. Like I think the past year has been like a downtrend for rent, but it's not because the landlords out of the goodness of their heart were like, you know what? I can still maintain profit. I'll just lower it a little bit for you guys. That's never happened before. That's never happened. Usually it's that they will make more profit by lowering the rent a little bit to fill more vacancies. They're always profit maximizing. Is it this one? And if the profit maximization chart shows rents should go down $50 this month and landlords will continue to make more, then that's what they will do. There's no landlord that's like, am I making too much money off of my renters? I might be making too much money off them. I'm going to charge a little bit less. That's not real. RealPage's price algorithm violates antitrust laws. The Justice Department, together with Attorney Generals of North Carolina, California, Colorado, Connecticut, filed a civil antitrust lawsuit against RealPage for its unlawful scheme to decrease competition among landlords in apartment pricing to monopolize the market for commercial revenue management software that landlords use to price apartments. Basically, it's like a massive, think about like OPEC, think about like why cartels are illegal. That like if every single company is colluding with each other, you don't actually have a true free market. You just have a bunch of the providers of the good colluding with each other to make more money off of people. There's no actual competition. If the idea is that capitalism can only work with competition, now you can disagree with the premise but that's what capitalists will tell you. If there is no competition, then the only thing that's happening is that a massive cartel is working together to make sure that you are being overcharged for something you need. But let's see here. Where is it? Complaint alleges RealPage contracts with competing landlords who agree to share with RealPage non-public, completely sensitive information about their apartment rental rates and other lease terms to train and run RealPage's algorithm pricing software. The software then generates recommendations, including on apartment rental pricing and other terms, for participating landlords based on their and their rivals' competitively sensitive information. The complaint further alleges that in a free market, these landlords would otherwise be competing independently to attract renters based on pricing, discounts, concessions, lease terms, and other dimensions of apartment leasing. RealPage also uses this scheme and its substantial data trove to maintain a monopoly in the market for commercial revenue management software. There's like, let me see if I can find. RealPage acknowledged its software is aimed at maximizing prices for landlords, referring to its products as driving every possible opportunity to increase price, avoiding the race to the bottom in down markets. A rising tide raises all ships. The complaint cites internal documents and sworn testimony from RealPage and commercial landlords that make plain RealPage's and landlords' objectives to maximize rental pricing and profitability at the expense of renters. A RealPage executive explained to a landlord that using a competitor's data can help identify a situation where a landlord may have a $50 increase instead of a $10 increase for that day. Another landlord commented about RealPage's product. I always like this product because your algorithm uses proprietary data from other subscribers to suggest rents and terms. That's classic price fixing. And they talk about how like the algorithm would even suggest that they should have a particular vacancy rate that would maximize their profit. I'm trying to think of like the best way to explain this, but basically think about the way that like luxury brands make money. Luxury brands make money because even if they don't have that many people buying the product, they have a couple people buying a product that's very expensive. So it's worthwhile, right? Like let's say you have, trying to think of like easy numbers to explain this, but like let's say you have 10 units, right? You have 10 apartment units that you can rent out. And you could charge, I'm just going to use numbers that don't make any sense for the purpose of easy math, but you could charge $100 for those 10 units and make $1,000 a month. Alternatively, you could charge $200 and you only need 5 people to make the same amount of money. And those other 5 units, you don't have to do any repairs on them because no one's living in them. So you would actually make more money charging $200 and having 6 people than charging $100 and having 10 people. So there's like a profit maximization chart that can run off of these algorithms and all the data that the landlords are giving it that would tell them, hey, we believe that if you set prices here, you will get this many people and this vacancy rate, and this vacancy rate will maximize your profit. You don't want your product to be available to everyone because you make more money when your product is not available to everyone. But when we're talking about something like housing, we've already run into a massive issue, which is people are making or charging prices that they know will lead to multiple units being vacant or many units being vacant, some percentage of units being vacant. So this idea that it's like, oh, we have a couple vacancies, maybe we should lower it. It's like, no, wait, what the fuck? Landlords are not doing that. Landlords are being told by this fucking algorithm that's going based off of historical data and off of all the other landlord information. Hey, actually, yeah, you want to have like a 5% vacancy rate. You want to have a 10% vacancy rate. Also, this is the behavior that monopolies exhibit in econ theory. I mean, this is such basic, like fucking, this is like econ 101. Like you have to be a fucking bot to not understand this shit, I feel like. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Like I cannot believe someone would make this comic. Like all of my politics center around making this guy suffer. Taxes are eating up my unprofitable rental. I have to quit being a landlord. Yes. 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 What are the comments? It's not good, guys. It's a lot of human cattle. Mamdani is only freezing rents so he can confiscate buildings. Most base thing ever. Is this you? These young people are absolutely ignorant as to economics and human nature. I like how the video literally showed multiple older people who live in New York. And these young people. I guess I missed the 7-year-old dude that was a young person. All right, whatever. Young at heart, I suppose. I wonder how much they will cheer when their lease isn't renewed. What is up with New York? It sure seems it's a magnet for stupidity. Dumbest person in the room is always the one to talk about how everyone else is a fucking idiot. They will jump up and down until they call for maintenance and no one comes. Maintenance isn't coming, you stupid slut. Oh my god, dude. That's already happening. This is giving the same energy as, well, I guess we'll see who shows up 2 hours later to shoot your dog when you call 911. I guess we'll see what'll happen. I bet you'll feel defund the police. I bet you'll feel really stupid when the cops show up 2 hours late because someone stole something or broke into your apartment and then they kill your dog in front of you. I bet you'll feel really fucking stupid then, won't you? Oh my god. When they get evicted and they get put on a 500,000 person waiting list, they will only begin to understand what they have done. Famously, there are no pre-existing waiting lists in New York already. There are literally people that have been waiting for vouchers for 10 years in New York. That's amazing. Who are we kidding? They're just setting up the property owners to try and seize the property. That's obvious. This is to force the owners to not be able to keep up the buildings so he can seize them. Okay, and that's not what's happening, but if that was what was happening in these people's brains, okay, based and all right, and they're already not upkeeping the buildings. I don't know what to say. What? How many times do we have to go over the same point? How many times I got to teach you this lesson, old man? The landlords are not fixing the properties to begin with. That's why we're in this problem in the first place. It should never, ever, 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 ever have been legal for a mayor to appoint members to the rental board. That is Class A corruption right there. Shouldn't have allowed people to not pay rent during COVID. That was wild. So many landlords were out monthly income. And then the country was shocked when they needed to raise rent when they finally were able to collect again. Have they considered getting an income by having a real job? And that's coming from a streamer. I have the fakest job. And somehow more of a real job than being a landlord. I still have to wake up at 7 a.m. 4 days a week. Now I just have to be cringe on the internet. But At least I'm pretending to have a job. As a landlord, you don't even have a fucking job. What the fuck? Literally vomiting the video talking points. It's bots and chuds. I like your purple hair. Thanks. Some of the purple is fading, which is making me sad. Making me very sad inside. God, I like the fanfic they're writing. Let them cheer to their doom. Some people have to figure it out the hard way. Hey, New York voted for this. Bye-bye, New York. I like this pearl clutching. So many idiots. It's disturbing. Mamdani already said he would be seizing all New York City properties. Step 1 complete. When did he say that? He said if you refuse to fix habitability problems as a landlord, your unit will be seized. Which was already policy in New York, by the way, before Mamdani. Because, hey, I don't know, if you have like termites and black mold and roaches and a leaky roof or any of those things in your unit and you're refusing to fix them, as a landlord, there is no good faith effort to fix them as a landlord. You shouldn't be renting properties out. And by the way, like for anyone who's looked into like tenant protections in most states, honestly, they're pretty generous to landlords. First of all, landlords are only required to fix it if they're made aware of it or they had reason to believe it. So their timer only starts when you inform them. And we assume that they don't know because they don't live in your unit, right? So, and most states, I think New York and California or LA have a 30-day period of time to make a good faith effort to remedy the problem. So if they try and fix it and they go in and do a bunch of stuff, but the problem persists, like it's fine because they're making a good faith effort so long as they show that they were making a good faith effort. So it's a pretty generous system. You just have to like try as a landlord. That's it. You just have to try and then show proof of trying. Like show that like, well, I'm sorry, like the vendor I was communicating with informed me, here is the email showing that they said there was no more black mold. So when the tenant showed me 2 weeks later that there was more mold, that's not my fault. I was under the assumption, based on the vendor that I had contracted, that the problem was no longer a problem. So now that I know that there is another problem, okay, I will make another good faith effort to remedy this problem. And so on and so forth and so on and so forth. But man, Jesus Christ. It's so incredible. It's so incredible. Blaming renters for like wanting to be able to afford housing is incredible. Imagine any other worker approaching their job like a landlord approaches theirs. Yeah. And unlivable conditions have forced average New York landlord, by the way. I don't even care if this person is from New York, by the way. This is the average New York landlord.
Another family out of their Cedar Rapids home tonight. They blame the landlord, and they call a slumlord. An 9-9 investigation tonight found that landlord is facing thousands of dollars in fines and even potential criminal charges over the state of her properties.
In the meantime, this is upending people's lives and leaving others feeling helpless. And KCRG TV9's Lacey Reeves reports on our I-9 investigation into that landlord.
That landlord's name is Bridget Toyngar. Last week, we showed you these apartments on A. Aussie Lane. The city of Cedar Rapids declared them uninhabitable, citing issues with the sewer. People living there had to move out. Today, that happened to another one of her rental properties. Sewer issues forced the city to declare this home uninhabitable. And this is just part of the pattern. We dug through inspection reports and court records and found Toyngar has 10 properties in violation of city codes and a history of ignoring orders from both the city and judges to fix them.
Master manipulator.
That's how the woman who lived in this Cedar Rapids home describes her landlord, Bridget Toyngar. She blames her for having to find a new place to live.
My heart dropped.
She asked us to hide her identity, but showed us what she's been living with for months. Clogged pipes and sewage standing in the basement.
But I still go down there and choose to clean up that mess. I have to close the vents in the house because if you turn on the heat or even the air, you smell all of that come up. So I have to close the vents.
Through a records request, KCRG obtained an inspection report the city made in March, giving the landlord 7 days to fix the plumbing. The property manager said they did not have the money to fix it. They didn't, which meant the family here now has to move out.
Then I was like, I have nowhere to go. What am I going to do?
The family hasn't found a new place to live and wants to see Twingar be held accountable.
I believe she should properly place everyone that she has destroyed, because these are people lively. They was willing to live in that and give her a chance to fix the problem, and she did not.
But this isn't Twingar's only property violating city code. Similar sewer issues forced several families out of their apartments on Aussie Lane last week. Last year, the city of...
Is it not crazy that, like, you are not owed that money back from the landlord? Like, you pay whatever amount of money that you pay in rent, at least in part, to have a habitable place. They are going to profit off of you, and you're accepting that arrangement. Should you not get your money back? You're not paying to live in a slumlord fucking location. You're paying, or like in a slum, you're paying to live in a habitable location. They didn't fucking hold up their end of the bargain. Why are you not capable of, like, getting your rent money back? Why would Mamdani's rent freeze in New York do this to Iowa? Has anyone asked that question yet? Because I was just told that landlords are the best people ever and they always repair things and they're amazing and they should be treated with kindness and respect. Well, this guy has 10 units. He owns and rents out 10 units, but doesn't have enough money to fix any of them. Doesn't have enough money, even though they pay rent every month.
Cedar Rapids even took Twingar to court for another of the buildings on Aussie Lane on separate issues. The judge fined Twingar more than $2,000 and ordered repairs be made by March 7th. An inspection shows the violations are still not fixed, with a court date now in June. In all, KCRG obtained city inspections showing 10 properties in violation of city code, owned by 3 different LLCs, all registered to Twingar. 7 of them are residential. 3 are commercial, like the strip mall in Northwest Cedar Rapids.
I would use the words deceptive.
Mike Holder owns Pet's Playhouse here. It's one space the city found multiple code violations dating back to 2023, including sanitation issues, graffiti, and peeling paint. Holder said,
bro literally owns multiple strip malls, but somehow doesn't have the money to fix these things. Like, then why don't you sell one of them, huh?
As the lack of maintenance has cost him over $1,000.
We had roof water leak into this tank and it killed everything in this tank. So we had to start everything over and we lost all that inventory of that fish.
The city sued Twingar to fix the problems. Twingar never showed up, so the judge ruled in favor of the city, fined Twingar $3,700, and ordered her to make repairs by June of 2024. Twingar again failed to show up to court in February and now has a summons to appear later this month. Holder fears his store could be the next of Twingar's properties to be shut down.
This is my business. I have all my money stuck into this thing, and to have somebody come in outside because of someone else's neglect saying, hey, I could shut your business down. That's hard. If you're going to own a piece of property, you have to accept the responsibility that's associated with maintaining that property. That's not been happening.
This is another of Twingar's properties violating city code. We showed you last summer how this mysterious tower is irritating neighbors. The city has ordered her to take it down. It's still there, with the court hearing scheduled for later.
What the fuck is that?
This month.
We are trying to force her hand in the court of law.
Kevin Ciabatti with the City of Cedar Rapids Building Services says it is working to enforce city code with every tool available. Twingar currently owes more than $20,000 in court fines. She could face... I
feel like we kind of glossed over the mysterious obelisk. Girl is playing RimWorld Anomaly DLC and we're just fine with it?
Criminal charges if she continues to skip court dates and ignore judges' orders. But her 3 companies are still able to operate in the city for now. Is there any way that she can be removed from that landlord list?
They're not going to talk about it again. I'm sorry, what the fuck is that?
Last summer, how this mysterious tower is irritating neighbors. The city is...
Soyuz Environment Clean Engine. That's the most suspicious label I've ever seen in my life.
Ordered her to take it down.
+3 landlord, Tower of Control. It allows her to charge more rent and own more properties. You have to build one of those first before you're allowed to own more properties. Okay. I like how they just are like, the tenants really didn't like this mysterious tower that was put up that's been giving them nightmares ever since it was erected. They've been having visions for 24 hours a day, when they're awake, when they're asleep, and it persists even if they leave to work. And still, she refuses to show up to court. Like, hello? The landlord pylon is crazy, dude. I feel like we're glossing over this.
It's still there, with the court hearing scheduled for later this month.
We are trying to force her hand in the court of law.
Kevin Ciabatti with the City of Cedar Rapids Building Services says it is working to enforce city code with every tool available. Twingar currently owes more than $20,000 in court fines. She could face criminal charges if she continues to skip court dates and ignore judges' orders. But her 3 companies are still able to operate in the city for now. Is there any way that she can be removed from that landlord list?
We are looking into that, to whether or not this would be a situation where we would pursue that. However, I want to be very clear that when you remove somebody from that rental business permit, it applies to all their properties. So for example, if there are properties that are in compliance or individuals living in those individual units that have no reason other than to be removed, it would be very difficult for us to take action in a situation like that, remove somebody from a property that's totally in compliance.
Kevin, is Bridget Twingar a slumlord?
I'm not going to answer. I won't answer that question.
But that's exactly what several people who were kicked out of her properties called her.
Birchwald, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders.
Is that what you would call Bridget?
I would call Bridget, the call of that, I honestly would be thinking that they'd probably be giving her a compliment. If I called her a slumlord. If I called her a slumlord, I think I'd be giving her a compliment.
I did get a hold of Bridget Twingar on the phone today. I asked her if she took responsibility for the violations in all of her properties.